Some people walk through life as if everyone else secretly is angry at them. A delayed reply translates like disappointment. A flat tone sounds like anger. A neutral face becomes a verdict. For people like this, life plays out as a series of tiny emotional misunderstandings that feel enormous in the moment. A friend says, "sure," instead of course. And suddenly the word carries weight it never signed up for. You reread it once, then again, tilting your head at the screen like it might confess something if you stare long enough. It's amazing how one syllable can sound mildly annoyed when your nervous system is already on edge. Someone you like replies with fewer words than usual, and your mind starts spiraling. You tell yourself it's fine, truly, and yet you find yourself typing extra warmth into your next message just in case damage control is needed. These folks move carefully, adjust themselves constantly, soften their voice, explain too much, apologize early. Social life becomes a minefield where the danger stays unnamed but always present. You probably realize it is a trauma response to something, but it's hard to understand how can one live differently. The mind becomes a skilled reader of microshifts, yet terrible at reading context. It is indeed crazy that even a raised eyebrow of a stranger feels personal. Let's solve this puzzle. Someone feels off, so it must relate to you. Someone withdraws, so you must have caused it. This creates a subtle inflation of self-importance disguised as self-doubt. You become the center of every emotional equation, even when the math belongs elsewhere. And believe me, math often belongs elsewhere. Here is bittersweet truth. People don't think of you as much as you think they do. Each person walks around inside their own worries and unfinished conversations. You occupy far less mental real estate in other people's minds than your anxiety suggests. This is known as the spotlight effect. We feel as if we're standing under a bright light, fully visible, every gesture examined. In reality, everyone else is standing under their own spotlight, squinting at their own performance. What makes this psychology exhausting is the constant self-correction. Meanwhile, others walk away unaware that a trial just took place in your head. For many people, this pattern traces back to one specific early relationship: the mother as emotional space holder. A young mind experiences relationship as continuity. When the mother's presence suddenly thins, less eye contact, fewer words, delayed responses, the child experiences it as a break in connection, because the relationship defines the child's whole sense of being. Silence becomes a verdict without language. Over time, silence trains the psyche to associate emotional withdrawal with personal error. The child learns that love withdraws quietly and returns unpredictably. There is no conversation that restores it, only waiting, pleasing, or disappearing. This teaches a subtle lesson. Worth depends on staying in favor. The child's attention turns inward, scanning for whatever might have caused the withdrawal. Identity bends around anticipation. The self becomes something to manage. This is how silence becomes internalized as, "it's my fault," without those words ever being spoken. Fault here does not mean wrongdoing. It means deficiency. Something about me failed to hold the relationship together. That belief embeds deeply because it is formed during development, before the child can imagine separate emotional worlds. The mother's inner life feels fused with the child's existence. Her distance or irritation feels like a comment on the child's being. Later, this dynamic recreates itself in adult relationships with eerie precision. A delayed reply, a distracted tone, a neutral face triggers the old equation instantly. Silence still means something went wrong. Distance still means value dropped. The adult may intellectually understand that people have their own moods, yet the feeling bypasses logic. The body reacts as if their worth is being reassessed in real time. This is why people shaped by maternal anger or neglect often explain themselves too much, apologize quickly, or feel uneasy during emotional gaps. When you sense a cold tone from a friend and your mind jumps straight to, "they hate me," what activates is not logic or imagination. It is a learned translation system. Tone arrives first as sensation. The body registers distance, flatness, reduced warmth. Before a thought forms, the relational memory already assigns meaning. Coldness equals rupture. Rupture equals personal fault. The conclusion feels immediate because it has been rehearsed for years. A cold tone resembles earlier emotional withdrawal. The content of the interaction becomes secondary. What matters is the shift. The psyche has learned to treat shifts as verdicts. When warmth drops, value feels like it drops with it. Friendship stops feeling like a stable bond and starts feeling like a performance under review. The mind does not ask whether the friend is tired, busy, distracted, or absorbed in their own inner life. It asks a narrower question: what did I do to cause this? For this, people's self-worth depends on reception. When a friend sounds cold, the internal question appears: am I still liked? The possibility that the answer might be unclear feels intolerable, even painful. What you are actually reacting to is not hatred, but loss of signal. Warmth functions as confirmation. When it fades, the system panics because you need that constant confirmation. This is why these reactions feel embarrassing after the fact. Later, when the friend acts normally again, the interpretation collapses. Yet, in the moment, it felt completely real. Over time, this pattern softens when the psyche learns that closeness can pause without disappearing, that tone can change without meaning anything about worth, and that relationships survive emotional turbulences. Until then, coldness still sounds like rejection, because once upon a time, it truly was. Or maybe it was not. Maybe you made it all up.